like we go on runs, they do as well. They're a great team. So I don't think it's defeating. I think obviously we know what a great shooter she is, and I think we just gave her too many easy ones. Obviously, she has great range, and her ability to get her shot off is really impressive, especially with missing some games. And so obviously,
Basketball is a game of runs in the same way like we goon runs they do as well. They're a great team of so. I don't think it's defeating. I think obviously we know what a great shooter she is. I think we just gave her too many easy ones. So obviously she has great range and her ability to get her shot off, who is really impressive, especially with missing some games and obviously on a personal level.
This crazy moment right here with Breanna Stewart and Caitlin Clark just saying, hey, clear the ways. I'm about to cash this thing. All right, so let's take a look at it, man, just in case some of y'all missed the game, man.
I'm really happy to see her back out on the court, healthy, feeling good, because obviously it's important for them, but just for her, I'm happy she's back in the WNBA. Multiverse is going on. Sabrina Squam Brianna just hit the Caitlin Clark praise button like it's stuck on max volume and trust, because it's louder than a New York subway at rush hour. These two went full fan mode, and it got everyone scratching their heads like, wait, are we witnessing a secret Caitlin cult? Buckle up, because this ain't your average basketball love fest. It's legendary fannerling with a twist. You won't believe it's talking about this crazy moment right here with Breanna Stewart and Caitlin Clark just saying, hey, clear the ways, I'm about to cash this thing.
Caitlin dribbling between the legs, step back, look at the space. Look at the space, man. Look where she's at. Logo ready. Oh my goodness. Just pulls it. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And then give her a ooh.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at it, man, just in case some of y'all missed the game. Man, new Caitlin dribbling between the legs. Step back, look at the space. Look at the space, man. Look where she's at, Logo ready. Oh my goodness, just pulls it nothing but the bottom of the net and give her, ooh, you thought she was young. The way she oohing her like that, Sabrina. Anu and Breanna Stewart might have just pulled off the greatest plot twist in WNBA history 1 minute. They're lacing up for battle, looking like they're about to bury Caitlin Clark in defenses as witches and fade away. Jumpers next minute, they're full-on fangirling like Caitlin just dropped a surprise Beyonce album, and we're not talking passive compliments here. We're talking next level. Someone hand them pom-pom synergy message to the team after game on what you thought they needed to hear it, yes. I mean, my message to the team was to keep your heads up, and we're now 10 games into the season, and we have a long ways to go. But, there it was a few games early on where we kind of squeaked out wins. We got away with some things, and we winded up with the win. And Mullo, this is an opportunity for everyone to kind of look at themselves in the mirror and then really focus and lock in on the things that we need to get better.
The team after tonight's game on what you thought they needed to correct us.
I mean, my message to the team was to keep your heads up. I mean, we are now 10 games into the season and we have a long ways to go. But, there was a few games early on where we...
And this is a long season, so to think that anybody's going to get undefeated throughout the entire thing is like impossible. But here's the kicker, it didn't feel fake. Novin a bit, this wasn't one of those spect her talent, robotic per trained post-game throwaways. Now this was two WNBA legends, genuinely vibing with the rise of the rookies. Brianna had the twinkle of admiration in here eye. That said, dang, I wouldn't mind throwing lobster. While Breanna was out there laughing after Caitlin splashed a 3 in her face like it was open mic night at Comedy Club. And Caitlin just delivered the punchline of the year. Feel like Wes should talk about Caitlin Clark versus Ina C. more, because she was a dog coming out of college, and I kind of feel like she got overshadowed by Caitlin Clark coming out of college. Yeah, INCU had 38 minutes, 34 points. So he feel like that's the matchup that Wes should be talking about more, Zion versus Caitlin Clark. 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Though Sano has many rebounds and assists as Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about moment Caitlin in pulls up from a spot that should require a permit to shoot from lets it fly and boom net. And instead of storming off court throwing her head back in frustration, Breanna just grins like she just lost David with the basketball gods. That lighthearted you got. My laugh wasn't just classy, it was iconic. That sportsmanship sore find it probably flossing between games. Clark returns helps the Fever hand the defending champion Liberty their first loss of the season. Clark was excellent. 32 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, had a couple of blocks. Serica, what stood out, Toyu in her first game back form. Me, what stood out is that she emptied the tank. I was on HQ earlier in the week talking about Paige Becker's maybe she'll kind of, slowly integrate, and we heard pregame.
kind of squeaked out wins. You know, we got away with some things, and we ended up with the win. And a loss is an opportunity for everyone to kind of look at themselves in the mirror and really focus and lock in on the things that we need to get better. And this is a long season, so I think
Caitlin Clark talking about that she doesn't believe in minutes restrictions. Both of these rookies today, after missing time, absolutely hit the ground running. Caitlin Clark, as has been noted in the highlights, being able to just shoot a terradiculo, us clip from distance, electrifying a crowd. It's hard not to become a fan of people like that. You watch them for their skill, their dominance, their sheer ability to control a game, and then they go ahead and show you they're just a slight-in character. And suddenly, you're not just watching their games, you're rooting for their wins, like you've got Breanna Stewart stock in your fantasy portfolio. And Sabrina Ionescu highlights downloaded on your phone. It's wild how one moment of humility can turn admiration into full-blown fandom.
Sabrina, who's built her career on clutch moments and breaking ankles, gave that respectful nod like, all right, this one's different. And Breanna, a walking trophy cabinet, didn't need to say a word. Her post-3 grin spoke volumes. It's one thing to acknowledge a rising star. It's another to celebrate her in the middle of your own game, with the cameras rolling and the scoreboard still ticking. You know how powerful that is? That's like LeBron pulling Ja Morant aside and going, you got next. It doesn't diminish anyone. It elevates the game. It tells the fans, we see her, we respect her, and we're better because she's here.
You should talk about Caitlin Clark versus Ionescu more, because she was a dog coming out of college, and I kind of feel like she got overshadowed by Caitlin Clark coming out of college.
Yeah, Ionescu had 38.
And if you weren't already a fan of Sabrina and Breanna before that game, you probably Googled their jersey numbers 5 seconds after it ended. Because it's not just about how they played, it's how they acted that sticks. That's what transforms casual viewers into diehard supporters. That's what makes a highlight into a legacy. You don't often see that in elite sports. Usually you get rivalries carved out of media hype and pettiness. But this was pure basketball goodness. This was the kind of sportsmanship you show to your little cousin who just beat you in Mario Kart. Except it was on a professional court, under blazing lights, with millions watching. It's the equivalent of a Michelin star chef applauding a food truck vendor. Unexpected, but undeniably cool. Happening in Indy right now, Rebecca. Tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA? Well, I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention.
8 minutes, 34 points.
Yeah.
So
See, like, I feel like that's the matchup that we should be talking about more.
yeah, no, I agree.
Ionescu versus Caitlin Clark.
2 rebounds, 4 assists, though, so not as many rebounds and assists as.
Once again, we know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sitting there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep 3 after deep 3 after deep 3. I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we seen players go on runs? Of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her after being out for 19 days to recover from an injury. Couple that with the other passes that she made and some of the other plays. It was just ridiculous. And the way they did it? Effortless. No diva tantrums. No passive-aggressive jabs. Just the kind of quiet, confident respect that comes from people who are already legends and don't need to flex to prove it. Caitlin's three-pointer on Breanna wasn't just a shot, it was a cultural reset. It was a moment of holy crap, she really did that, followed by a laugh that could have diffused a nuclear bomb.
The Fever hand the defending champion Liberty their first loss of the season. Clark was excellent, 32 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, had a couple of blocks. Erica, what stood out to you in her first game back?
For me, what stood out is that she emptied the tank. I was on HQ earlier in the week talking about paid.
Breanna didn't get mad, she got it. She got that this is what the game is about. Pushing each other, respecting greatness, even when it comes in the form of a dagger 3 launched from another zip code. And Sabrina, she was standing there with the kind of energy that said, let's go, this is fun now. You could tell she saw the future of the league playing out right in front of her, and instead of feeling threatened, she leaned in. That's what separates the greats from the gatekeepers. She didn't close the door. She flung it open and handed Caitlin a towel and a locker. It's like a seasoned rock star inviting a new, talented guitarist to shred alongside them. The ultimate sign of respect. Let's not pretend it's always like this. The sports world is full of fake smiles and handshake snubs. We've all seen the cold shoulders, the eye rolls, the "I'm too seasoned to care" attitudes. So when two of the game's best openly welcome the new blood, it's not just refreshing, it's revolutionary. That's the kind of shift that grows the sport, earns respect, and builds bridges instead of barricades. It's a masterclass in sports diplomacy, executed with the finesse of a no-look pass. But today we saw Caitlin have an unbelievable half and a decent second half, in my opinion. Look, 6 assists. Again, did turn the ball over a little bit, which wasn't the greatest half.
Slowly integrate in. We heard pre-game Caitlin Clark talking about that she doesn't believe in minutes restrictions. Both of these rookies today, after missing time, absolutely hit the ground running. Caitlin Clark, as we noted in the highlights, being able to just shoot at a ridiculous...
But 7 points, 6 assists, 4 boards is not a bad half. Like, that's 14-12 if she was on for that for the whole time. That's not bad at all, to be honest. That's really not bad at all. And don't think for a second that Caitlin didn't feel that. You could see it on her face, that moment of recognition, of being accepted not just as a player, but as a peer. That's worth more than any trophy.
Liberty Fever game and joins us now on SportsCenter alongside her dogs in the background. Apparently, they want to be in the interview as well. 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists for Caitlin Clark. This is after missing 5 games with a quad. What stood out most about Caitlin's performance yesterday?
That's the invisible gold medal of belonging. And when it comes from players like Sabrina and Brianna, it hits differently. It hits deeper because you know it's real, you know it's earned. It's like getting a seal of approval from the queen herself, but for basketball. It also tells us a lot about Sabrina and Brianna as leaders. Because being great isn't just about stats and rings, it's about how you try.
Tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA?
Well, I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention once again. We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.